Hello, my name is Tom Vatalaro. We're here at Vic Sports Center in Kent, Ohio, and we're going to do a video on the new 522D. Now, what's unique about this boat is they actually took the 621 hull, stretched it a little bit, the walleye hull, and made it a little bit shallower in the nose area. Okay, so the nose isn't quite as blunt as the 621 hull. Shaved it down a little bit, obviously a little bit less on the gunnels, and built a massive bass boat. So this boat is 22 foot long. It is a huge bass boat. Might just be the biggest bass boat made right now. But what makes it unique is the way this thing can run across water. And basically when people ask me about it, they say, hey, how does that thing ride compared to anything else you've been in? And I tell them, our 621 Ranger was the best riding walleye boat I've ever been in my life. And now we've got the ability to have the same hull, actually a little bit longer, and you've gotten to move the seats about 3 feet further back. So the ride is absolutely amazing. We actually got to test it on Lake Erie, the first couple of them. I took them out there, ran in some really, really rough conditions, and the boat handled just absolutely amazing. It was super dry, super easy to drive. We didn't have, with the deeper V, you don't have any problem with them spearing waves like you do in a normal bass boat when you're doing following seas, because the bow is deep enough that it can recover and actually go over that wave. So just an absolutely amazing boat. They have kept it on the sides kind of low compared to the walleye boat. When you're bass fishing out of it, we did go into actually East Harbor and went bass fishing, and we noticed the boat sat 3 to 4 inches higher off the water than a normal bass boat, but still incredibly stable. We fished 3 people in the boat, and it seemed like you were by yourself because of how huge the front deck is and all the amount of walkable space in the boat. So we will actually get up in the boat here in a little bit, but first and foremost, like I said, I wanted to just kind of point out the hull, how deep it is. It comes all the way down, has the keel guard already on there. They've actually recessed the hull a little bit, so the keel guard really blends into the bottom of that hull. You barely even know it's there. This particular boat does have the touring package on it, so it does have the parking brake. And the parking brake has really been a great feature on these boats. When it first came out, I didn't know how great it was going to be, but I can tell you, even from parking Victor's boat in his garage, it's awesome. You back in there, you lock it down. You don't have to go look for chalks, and then when you back your truck up to the boat, if you don't have it just perfect and you need to wheel forward just a little bit, you can just release the brake, let it roll forward a little bit, lock it back on, put your hitch on, put the ball on the hitch. So it really, really is a great feature. We also have, if you notice from outside the boat, we have built-in navigation lights on these Rangers, which is wonderful. No more front light pole. So you have one light on this side, one on the other side. It's all built in. And on the front of this particular boat, we have the 112 4-Trex Minn Kota. So next we're going to start hopping up in this boat. Okay, actually before we hop up in the boat, we're going to go over the back of the boat a little bit. Now notice that they've actually reversed the chine on the back of this boat so that any water that comes heading for the back of this boat when you come off plane or any waves is going to get caught here, and the boat's going to actually lift its own self up, and you're not going to get water up over the back of the boat. That's one. Number two, the normal bass boat from right here at the top of the transom down to the bottom of the boat is 20 inches. This particular boat is 25 inches, so it does have a 25-inch transom to compensate for the higher gunnels on the sides of this boat, which again gives you the ability to be in rougher water without water coming over the back of your boat. So the boat's going to sit up a little higher. We equipped this one with a Atlas jack plate, which if you are going to run rough water, I really suggest having a hydraulic jack plate, because you can really fine-tune the ride of your boat with that hydraulic jack plate, being able to go up and down. Okay, also on the back of this boat is a nice stainless steel boarding ladder. It drops down, has a couple steps, because I can guarantee that if you go out in some rough water, the first thing you need to do is get back to that boat, and the second thing is get back in that boat. So it's a great safety feature to have a great, very nice stainless steel ladder on your boat. This 522 is your plug for your battery charger. Also a remote drain plug, and this is a huge feature on these new Rangers, on all the new Rangers, all the Comanche series Rangers, is they have this remote drain plug. So right now, your boat plugs in, now it's out, now it's in. The greatest thing about that is you don't have to get down on your hands and knees to crawl way underneath this boat to put your boat plug in. So it's a great feature just to have it right here. Also, it's a little tough to see here, is the rigging on this Ranger, how they do a great job with a stainless steel bracket hooking your hydraulic lines in. Very clean, a rigging tube. It's just perfectly done. On the other side, there's also a cap there. You just untwist it and fill your oil reservoir for your motor. So remote oil fill, drain plug, battery charger, everything's right here. Pop-up cleats if you need to tie up. Everything is perfectly and neatly done. Everything's molded, everything's perfect, and you're ready for your fashion. Okay, we are on the front deck of the 522, and it is absolutely massive up here. A couple things to really notice. From here to the side is 36 inches wide right here. So when you get in that rough water and you've got to come up from out of your seat and get up on that front deck, you're not turning sideways to get past your butt seat. You've got tons of room. All up in this area, this carpet is completely foamed underneath. It has closed cell rubber foam, so it's nice and soft. Recessed trolling motor pedal, built-in HDS 9. And I know it's probably a little tough for the camera to see that 9, but I got to tell you that's an HDS 9 in that, and it looks like an HDS 5 because of how big this boat is. The way they rig their trolling motor is they have the 4 tracks here, the bounce buster on it, and the cable comes around and actually goes into a track right here. With this molded black plastic piece up front. The nice thing about that is when you flop your trolling motor down in the water, this cable does not go in front of your fish finder. So you can see your fish finder perfectly all the time. Tool holders, cup holder, drain down here in this floor base, everything's perfectly done. We have rod holders down both sides, here and over there. You actually have 2 pedestal positions, here and here. Top-up cleats. You notice how thin the gunnels are on the top here, and they angled everything this way. The front deck is 6 foot 9 inches wide right here. So it's huge. You can lay sideways across this boat. There's lots and lots of deck space if you want to fish 2 people up front. Very easily done. You definitely won't be running into each other. In this front compartment here, this is your massive rod locker, or one of them. This thing also has the ventilation system, which is a fan mounted over here, and there's plumbing pipes that go through this whole boat so that when you turn that on, it keeps fresh air going to all your compartments so you don't get any mold or condensation in your compartments. All of their latches are compression latches, so when you put them down, it actually sucks the lid down against the rubber seal, keeping your compartments as dry can be. Here is your center rod locker, which I could get inside. It's huge. Rod tubes up there, place for the back end of the rods here. Or you could take and put this divider in anywhere up through there, and you can use this for all planos. And I don't know how many planos you can get in here, probably 30 of them in one compartment. Okay? Double shock absorbers, double trim all the way around, rubber seal. So when you put this down, it stays dry. Over in this compartment, just another huge storage area. All your lights and everything are clipped in here. Then in front of the driver's console, we have a cooler. In front of the passenger console, we have a day box. So you have day box, cooler. You also have a step up on the front deck that can act as either storage or another cooler, whatever you'd like. All of their boxes are perfectly finished. Everything is foamed all around them, so any of the compartments could actually be a cooler. Obviously the carpeted ones wouldn't be the greatest for that, but all the rest of them would do just fine. Tool holders everywhere, and as you can see, even like right here, they channel the water off this front deck and right off into the floor area of the boat. So very, very well done. Very high lips on all the compartments, and tracks so that water can drain off of the front deck. Okay, here we are at the cockpit area of this 522D. And if you notice, we have an HDS 12 Gen 3 built right into it. Okay, and it does not look very big in this boat. This thing actually has tilt steering, so right there, I can look at the whole fish finder, no steering wheel in the way, and I've got a great view of it. We have smart craft gauge over here, push button start, ventilation, oxygenator, all your controls are all push button. In between these seats, we have a great glove box storage area. And going to the seats, that's one neat thing. The seats are actually a little bit more of a captain's chair, and they are on a slide. So yes, I would have to put it forward for me to reach the pedal. So the hot foot's on a slide and the seats are on a slide, which makes it very unique. We have power trim and tilt on one side. We have hydraulic jack plate on the other. Everything is all very accessible so that when you're running those big waves, you can just put both hands on the wheel and go. The next part of it is down the floor area. It is actually, it almost looks like upside down carpet, but it's not. It's a new woven flooring material that they're using in a lot of the pontoon boats right now. It's mold resistant and very, very easy to keep clean. So they've done away with the carpet down the floor and gone to more of a weave on it. And if you notice, if you look at how big the step is, from here to the middle step up onto the top deck, you'll see the interior depth of the boat is definitely more than a normal bass boat. But without that step, it would be very difficult to step from the floor all the way up onto the deck. So the step's a huge item. We get over here, we have a massive glove box, which is great for keeping your wallet, cell phone, all that kind of stuff in it. A lot of times at the shop we rig a 12-volt receptacle in there so you can charge your cell phone while it stays inside the console. Very, very well done. Again, passenger seat is on a slide the same way, so you can slide it back and forth. And there's also a bungee over here, or a strap, I'm sorry, to strap your passenger rods down the side. Just every little space on this boat is perfectly set up to be just the ultimate fishing machine. You know, one thing when I was sitting here at the console I noticed is that they actually have pop-up cleats right here also. And that is a great, great feature for two things. Number one, for tying up your boat for bumpers or anything like that, but also for a drift sock. If you're going to be out there drift fishing, it's the perfect spot to throw a drift bag so you can drag just, you know, you'll drift perfectly sideways. So it's really nice to have it right there, and there's one on both sides of the boat. Okay, now we're moving to the back deck of the 522D, and one of the first things I do want to say though is, you know, a lot of people look at this and say that is a monster bass boat. But this boat is actually going to be set up not only for bass fishing, but for the guy that also wants to musky fish, especially the casters. And this is going to be one of the boats that they're going to really look at because they love the deck space of a bass boat, but they're never going to have a boat that can handle the rougher water if you go to the big reservoirs and you're going to go casting for big muskies. Whether it be Lake St. Clair or go out to Lake of the Woods or anything like that. They love to have boats that can handle the rough water and those big monster bodies of water, but they, like I said, they really want the bass boat layout, so that's what this is going to do. And just to give you an idea, the center rod locker on this 522 can handle an 8'6" rod, okay? So for the musky guys, this could be a great, great option. We've actually already sold one to one of our musky customers. He's just overwhelmed with the boat. So going to the back deck, again, you do have to step up onto the center and then onto the deck to make an easy transition. Right in front of the live wells here is a massive cooler or storage box. Everyone says, well, what do you need a big cooler like this? If you are a Great Lakes fisherman fishing for smallmouth and it's the middle of the summer, believe me, these guys are going to have this packed with ice. I know the last big tournament Victor fished up at Lake Erie and actually won. He was taking 25 pounds of ice with him a day and constantly throwing bags of ice into his live well to keep those fish cool and alive. So a huge thing to the Great Lakes guys right there, having a huge storage box or a cooler if needed. The live well is massive also. Over 30 gallon, it's an over 30 gallon live well. So huge live well with split doors so you can actually, and a divider in the middle. So if you're fishing a partner tournament, it's fine to throw them wherever. If you're fishing a tournament, you're fishing against the guy in the back, this is his side, and that's your side, or vice versa. It keeps those fish very separate. You don't have to worry about that guy opening up to the live well and having one of your fish jump out. So, great deal with the slides on the top. To the storage boxes, and I know a lot of people have saw on our website, the first little video I did on this boat was down in Flippin, Arkansas at the Ranger Plans. And my son actually got inside this compartment, was curled up. I think I could have put 3 of them in this compartment. So the compartment's super deep, super big, and I mean, you could put more stuff in this thing than you could possibly ever even think about carrying along in the boat. So all your bumpers and life jackets and rain gear, whatever you want, or just more tackle. But the front deck has so much tackle space, I don't know what you're going to fill in all these compartments, but it is definitely got a lot of storage. And that compartment's here and over on the other side. The nice thing also about having big rear storage compartments is you can shift some of the weight towards the back of the boat, okay? So having these huge boxes back here, anything that's heavier, your anchor, maybe a lot of your soft plastics that you're not going to be using that day, but you always want to carry along with you, you can keep at the back of the boat, keep some weight in the back of the boat instead of piling it all up front, okay? All the way back in the back, we have a massive compartment back here that all three of your trolling motor batteries go actually on one side. Starting battery over here. Let me tell you a great feature about that is if you wanted to, you could put a fifth battery in. Okay? Now a lot of people say, why do I need 5 batteries in a bass boat? Because Ranger does have the jumper switch. So if your starting battery goes low, you could flip it and jump without jumper cables to one of your trolling motor batteries. But I can tell you that a lot of guys that fish up there do run a lot of electronics. And when you have big bags of smallmouth in your live wells, you're going to probably run your live wells on full tilt all day, okay? So it may be a time for a fifth battery. Just have one battery that does nothing but start your motor, and have the other battery that runs your electronics and your aerators, so you never have to worry about starting that boat. Which would be a great feature. There's also spare prop storage back there. Just a lot of little amenities that Ranger has done over the years. I mean, they just think of absolutely everything to build the perfect boat. Okay, we're back on the outside of the 522D, and as you can notice, it is definitely a taller boat than a bass boat. It's got a lot of mass to it. The boat's actually 101 inches wide and 22'7" long. The other thing is it does have a 56-gallon gas tank. That's going to be great for the guys that want to make those 150-plus mile runs round trip. To go, you know, there's a lot of times people will leave out of the Detroit River, Elizabeth Park, and run all the way across Lake St. Clair and up the river over there to go catch these big monster bags of smallmouth in a tournament. So having 56 gallons of fuel, having a bigger, wider, deeper boat is going to definitely give you the ability to have more range out there on the big water. And that's what this 522D is all about. So, you know, hey, if you get a chance and want to stop into our showroom, again, we're Vic Sports Center. We're located in Kent, Ohio. You can look us up on the web at vicsportscenter.com or go to vicsboats.com. It's really easy to get to us and check out all of our boats and other videos that we've done. So we love going through these boats, doing these videos, because it gives people a really good understanding of how that boat's laid out before they even get to the showroom. But anytime you want to come to the showroom, we keep 20 to 30 boats on display at all times here at the shop. So come on over and just browse through the showroom. It's really neat over here.